last gun, so you was going to come save the day.
No, not put down to jail, give the money back, take the money from railroad tycoons, and giving the money back to farmers.
What do you have to say to that, Madam Marion?
Would you like us to hold our horses for 1 second?
Hold your horses! 1 second. I see someone taking aim at this here target. I see someone taking aim at this here target.
But he can't win. There's already a bullet smack dab in the middle of the bullseye.
Why, he shot that other bullet right in half.
Not quite yet.
Why, he shot that other bullet right in half.
What from
I wonder what face belongs to those lips I long to kiss.
This face.
Why, you're Alan Odell, that friendly lawman from the east I was so crazy about. I thought you were all done with us.
Not when I finally found myself a home, a place where I belong, keeping company with the people I care most about.
You came to us as a stranger, rid this place of crime, and gave us a new hope in ourselves. That's going to be one tough act to follow.
Well, how's this? Will you be my lawful wedded wife, Miss Nancy?
Oh, yes, I will.
Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. Wide open spaces, everywhere I look, I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for you and me. It's contents, my
heaven.
Holy crap!
What? The reviews are good? What don't they like?
Oh, we put on a show.
The Boston Globe says, you loved Oklahoma. Stay there as long as Robin Hood is running in Boston.
How about calls to mind Walt Disney's Pinocchio because the star is wooden, ought to be hung by a piano wire, and swallowed by the first whale that enters Boston Harbor.
Who said that?
The Christian Science monitor.
You're the producer, Carmen. I swung last year's profits from my 1958 lingerie line into the show. There's got to be something in the papers we can use.
Let me consult with the writing team. Georgia, Aaron, does debacle have two meanings?
No.
Well, that's a shame. Critics! Who'd make a living killing other people's dreams? I mean, what kind of man would take a job like that?
What kind of slob would want a job like that?
Who could be mean enough, base and obscene enough to want a job like that?
Wait a second. Oh, here's something in a Herald that might be good.
Formerly married composer and lyricist Aaron Fox and Georgia Hendricks have provided film star Jessica Crenshaw with a star vehicle that ought to be driven off a cliff.
What kind of mom would raise her boy like that?
Who'd want her baby to destroy like that? Who could be jerk enough, hard up for work enough to want a job like that? Oh, what kind of low down dirty bum? Oh, what kind of swinish scurvy scum? Loathsome as they come, I wonder.
What kind of man would want a job like that?
What kind of thoughts would make you nuts like that? Who could be thick enough, mentally sick enough?
Who'd want to grow to be everyone's enemy? Critics are hated and so excoriated. Tell me what kind of man would want a job like?
Hey! Get a load of this! The Cambridge Patriot says, considering the talent and experience of the veterans involved, Robin Hood is sure to be a huge Broadway smash.
What kind of genius has a mind
So perspicacious, wise and kind like that.
far from his mother? She must be thrilled to see how he grew up to be such brilliant company, refined and reflective, completely objective, but it lifts up your heart to meet a man like that.
The Boston Globe. The Globe is the review we needed.
Funny, none of them mentioned Jessica painting.
She painted during the bows, when the critics dashed out of the theater to dash off their postmortems. Face it, you've gotten our notices, and you've been given praise.
I'm afraid you're right.
No. No! You two are just oversensitive because you wrote the show. This is only round one. The first show my husband and I produced was savaged out of town, but we rolled up our sleeves, did a major rewrite, and brought it to Broadway. That show, my friends, was Kiss Me! I'm Irish! Close before the audience opened their playbills, but the point is this is a Sidney and Carmen Bernstein production. We decide if it goes to New York, not Daryl Grady of the Boston Globe.
So we're still shooting for Broadway.
Aaron and Georgia, you keep writing tunes that bounce. Oscar, you keep writing checks that don't.
Very nice. But until our leading lady gets out of the hospital, who knows what happens next?
They just have her under observation. I'm sure she'll be out by the morning.
Is there no limit?
Sounds like our director.
Is there
He
no
got
limit?
such horrendous reviews.
Is there no limit? I ask you to my unbridled brilliance.
Where the hell were you? I put a lot of money into this show. As our director,
Be still your foolishness. Nothing to be grieved by watching one's own show with the fraudulent arms of an opening night. Went for a walk, past the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. Went in, wildly spiritual. I tell you, those Catholics really know how to put on a show. Right there, in the middle of the Eucharist, I had an epiphany. At this stage, in the life of any musical, one must refrain from inventing anything brilliant, but simply eliminate all that is god-awful. What I ask you, without fear of contradiction, was the most god-awful thing about our show. Jessica, of course. Comment. I came here tonight to ask you to get rid of our leading lady, only to have the cast inform me that she's in the hospital. I see the hand of the Lord in this.
Thirsty. There's a phone call for you in your office.
Thanks, Johnny. It's probably my husband calling.
And where was Sydney tonight, Carmen?
He's in New York, nailing a theater for us. And knowing my husband, he's also nailing a soprano who doesn't dance but knows how to move.
She can joke about it.
It's easy to joke about marriage when people like Sydney and you don't take it seriously.
There was no comparison. I never did more than flirt with any woman in any cast when she and I got married.
Barbara.
She was an usher, and that was only after you moved out.
So you finally looked up from your music and noticed that I was gone?
Johnny, you're the stage manager. How's the cast taking the reviews?
They decided to dress to the nines and throw an opening and closing night party.
You defeatists, the lot of you. You have yet to hear my plan of action, but here ye shall. Johnny, come help me watch you move the piano.
You think he wants us to go to Broadway using an understudy?
Well, at least you still have Bobby in the title role.
Oh, and that's what matters, right? I mean, the whole reason you teamed up with me again was so you could rekindle a romance with our living man.
When I signed up for this errand, I had no idea that Bobby was in the show.
Really? Then why, at our very first rehearsal, did you walk right up to him and say,
Oh, hi, Bobby.
Hi, sweetie. Well, looks like we're all going to be heading back to New York a little sooner than we thought. But if you and I are going back together, this is one flop that's a big hit with me.
Bien, Miss Enfants, a brief demonstration of what's been wrong with this show right from its very first love song.
me hear him? That's one of my best songs in the show.
One of our best songs.
See, Georgia agrees.
Nonetheless, I've had a problem with this since our very first day of rehearsal. Georgia, sing our leading lady's opening number.
Which song is this?
The one with the new lyric. Georgia wrote about it.
About Rob Hood.
Precisely. Georgia, sing Erin play, and Johnny, put her life you far.
Like you fun? This is silly. I haven't seen my speech in years.
Just sing.
Thinking up there, thinking up there. Sometimes it seems I spend every moment of each waking day thinking
get Jessica Cranshaw to sing it. People, I think it's a damn shame our leading lady collapsed at tonight's performance. She might have done it weeks ago and saved us a month. The cavity that Jessica has created must be appropriately filled.
May I speak? As Jessica's understudy, I feel horrible taking over under these
No need to
circumstances.
feel horrible, Nick.
But I mean, I have to.
Never need to feel horrible because you're still going to be the understudy. To Georgia.
I don't know, Chris.
You know the score of the script better than anyone else. You sing the songs from your heart, because that's where the words came from. I know it's been quite some time since you traded in your tap sheets for a rhyming dictionary.
Excuse me, but speaking for those of us in the chorus, I really think Nikki should get the role. She's talented and dedicated.
Oh, and since you're Nikki's understudy, if she gets the lead, you'll get her part.
Oh, well, yes, that too.
That's a nice try, Family. But either Georgia's in or I'm out. What do you say, Oscar?
Chris, I'll put my money where your mouth is.
No, launder it first. Aaron, I assume this group more than needs your approval.
To be honest, no, it doesn't.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I have my reasons.
You always have.
Besides, this entire debate is pointless if Jessica shows up tomorrow.
God help us, her performance was worse than ever this evening.
Jessica Cranshaw will never be better than she was this evening.
But she was horrible.
I know, but she'll never be better. She's dead.
What?
That was the hospital on the phone. In terms of future performances, Jessica Cranshaw now has a conflict.
What happened?
They wouldn't tell me.
Chris, do you want to say something to the company about Jessica?
Oh, well, perhaps we could have a moment of silence to match the audience's response to Jessica's first number. Very well. Everyone, let's form a semicircle. Boy, girl, boy, girl. Yes. Tell us on the inside. Tell us on the inside. No, not at all. Not at all. No, please come. Thank you. No, Bambi, you're blocking the entire left side of the house. Company, Jessica Cranshaw was a part of our company. And now we part company. But I'm sure we'll all remember her in our thoughts and in our resumes. And I know that as thespians, we'd all love to express that remorse as both a tribute and an acting exercise. Sasha, F sharp minor. Don't look at me.
Can't blow her
homicide division, and oh, what an honor it is to be standing on the same stage as each and every one of you. Genuinely deserves. I managed to see Robin Hood in previews, and may I say that, with the exception of the deceased Miss Cranshaw, you're all such wonderful performers. And what a great score.
I appreciate that, Lieutenant.
And on my behalf of that compliment, thanks as well.
You're more than welcome. I've done a little community theater myself. No, nothing that fancy. Although, my Billy Bigelow at the Brookline Barnhouse got a favorable review. And in A Midsummer Night's Dream, my bottom was very well received.
You said you were for homicide?
Yes. Based on a preliminary autopsy, it's clear that Jessica Cranshaw was murdered.
You murdered? And what are they doing with the killer? I mean, does he get some sort of a trophy or a punch?
Sorry, please back.
Killed her.
Hydrocyanic acid, commonly used in electroplating, as well as the gas chamber at San Quentin. It was in capsule form, which is why no one had realized she'd been poisoned until after the capsule dissolved in her stomach, starting a chemical reaction which created her own personal gas chamber internally. Working backwards from when the capsules dissolved, we know she swallowed them in the very final minutes of this evening's performance.
Couldn't she have poisoned herself?
Trauma at the back of her throat suggests that she didn't take the capsules voluntarily. Now, may I ask, who is in charge here, other than myself?
Permit me, Lieutenant. I'm the critically acclaimed director, Christopher Bennett, and I'll be blocking your investigation.
I hope that's not the case, but if you need to wrap things up with your cast, please, go right ahead.
Yes, very well. Company, I know you'll all give Georgia your full support as she steps into the late Miss Cranshaw's shoes.
Oh my God, that's brilliant!
That's what you would expect from me. All those ready to press on with Georgia and Robin Hood, give me a show of hands.
That's it. Listen, people. Life is full of setbacks and disappointments, as my husband first demonstrated at the bridal suite in the hotel town. But with Georgia taking over the lead, we've got ourselves a real shot at this. This show is going on. Are you with me, gang?
You know, if we leave now, we can make the last trip back to New York.
Stop! It's clear that every one of you is in perfect physical condition, so the show must go on.
Why?
Because, and this time itself, there's a grand theatrical tradition that the show must go on. Forget it. I've got a contract. You signed a contract. You'll read your contract. You've got to count to 10, and then I'll sue you. Yes, I'll sue you. And when I sue you, you'll never work again.
Representative! Oh, I am. Mrs. Bernstein, as equity deputy, I must warn you, any further threats, and you can be brought up on charges.
Oh, shut up, Elaine.
The name is Bambi. Mother!
All right, let's put it this way. For the fact that I'm asking your permission to let the show go on.
No!
The show must go on.
Not a chance.
The show must go on.
Why?
'Cause I say the show must go on.
No way!
I can't believe I'm hearing this. I won't believe it. Putting on a musical has got to be the most fulfilling thing a person could ever hope to do. You're all heroes to me. You're a special policemen and detectives dream of show business. They can't get arrested, but still they sit around the station and fancy this life. They cheer Sherlock Holmes and cheer Mac the Knife.
Ask your cleaning lady, don't you dream of show business to vocalize or stretch beside a bar?
Her affirmative shrug as she shampoos your rug lets you know how lucky you are. There's a special kind of aura around a show person. Just ask the next waiter you meet.
He walks in fifth position, his voice is just grand.
He gives you the check, you give him a hand.
If the boys in ballet parking turn to show business, they could scalp a higher ticket for your car.
And my tree surgeon now started taking a bow. A bow, get it? B-O-U.
Don't you know how lucky you are? We're a special kind of people known as show people. We live in a world of our own. Our days are tied to curtains, they rise and they fall. We're born every night at half-hour call. We can't picture being anything but show people. Civilians hide the whole thing quite bizarre. One night on in our hearts, when the overture starts, lets us know how lucky we are.
Show people! Show people!
It's an honor and a joy to be in show business. I feel that's not like Disney, and I know at the last curtain call, I'm the envy of all. So I know the show must go on. So willing the show people, so willing the show people. So thrilling the show people go.
Listen, everyone. Robin Hood really should go on.
Lieutenant, may I speak to you for a moment? My name is Nikki.
Harris, Miss Nikki Harris. I read your bio several times through on the bus ride home the other night. May I say, I found your performance particularly memorable. It was just lovely.
Well, thank you.
Lovely.
Well, thank you.
I'm crazy about your little vibrato.
You're very kind. Anyway, yesterday Miss Cranshaw asked me to coach on her lines. And of course I said I'd be glad to help.
That's so like you.
Well, I'm also her understudy. Or at least I was. I guess I'm George's understudy now. But then these 3 letters fell out of Miss Cranshaw's script. She didn't take them seriously, of course. But I kept them. I'm afraid my fingerprints are all over them. They're death threats. See? The words and letters have been pasted onto the paper. Cut with little curved finger scissors. I'd imagine.
You'll drop before the curtain does. You're murdering the score, but I'll murder you. If you don't quit, you'll die legit.
Can you tell anything from them?
Well, they seem pretty negative in spirit.
Well, yes, of course.
I'm sorry, you were hoping for the Arthur Conan Doyle version? Unfortunately, these notes reveal very little. Except that the person who wrote them is a man in his early 30s, 6'4" in height, served in the Merchant Marine, wears a pewter ring, and although being right-handed is known by those closest to him as lefty.
However, did you know that?
Oh, I did. I was just saying you'd probably hope I'd be able to tell. I mean, if I could do that just from those, I mean, wow.
For a second, I was impressed, as I once told my husband at the hotel tap. All right, what do you say we all go across the street and have ourselves one slobber knocker of a wake for the late, if less than great Jessica Cranshaw? Drinks are on me!
Just a minute! This theater is quarantined. All the exits are guarded, and none of you can leave. I'm sorry. The whole cast and crew will be living right here in the theater until further notice. Emergency services will bring pots and meals.
Wait a second. The talented members of this cast are entitled to a day off.
The talented members and even you, Elaine.
Folks, correct me if I'm wrong here, but to the best of my recollection, Jessica Cranshaw never left the stage during the show's last 10 minutes. If so, then I'm very sorry, but she had to have been murdered by one of you. I've never had a case with this many suspects, and I can't have each of you follow around the clock. Better to keep you under lock and key until I solve this crime.
You're taking the law into your own hands, Choppy.
Well, that's sort of what I'm paid to do. Never mind. Being sequestered here will help you focus on fixing the show. Keep your mouth down! Who's that?
Sounds like it's my husband, on his best behavior.
Yes, he left New York.
Lucky New York.
Well, isn't this just peachy keen? You all waited up for me. Got it. Still wearing my coat.
Sorry, Mr. Bernstein. Sydney, it's been a god-awful night.
I hear you, Chris.
And I'm turning in my resignation.
I can't hear you, Chris. Oscar, how you holding up?
I can't complain.
That's right, you can't.
Welcome back to Boston, Sydney.
Well, hello.
It's me, Sydney, your stepdaughter.
Sorry about that. Vaughn.
It's Bambi.
And the last of the least, my junior partner and lecture half, Mrs. B.
All right, let's just get it over with, Sydney.
Oh, what? You expect me to be upset? I left you in charge of opening night, to return to find a murdered leading lady, deadly reviews, and a bunch of cops who tell me I can't leave this theater.
I'm afraid you've arrived just at the wrong time for you and just at the right time for me, Mr. Bernstein.
Excuse me?
Lieutenant Frank Chaffee. Now, folks, I want you to go about your various tasks just as if this wasn't the scene of a homicide. Detective McNichol is waiting downstairs for your pertinent information. I'd like you to give him your name, address, 8x10 glossy, and I'll speak with each of you in the morning. Pleasant dreams, everyone.
Lieutenant, I can't be a suspect. I was in New York when Jessica was murdered.
Can you prove that?
It just so happens I was keeping company with a young actress I happen to be keeping on Sutton Place. If I give you her name, it could ruin her reputation.
Your chivalry is touchingly convenient.
I have many influential friends in New York.
Too bad you're in Boston.
And will you be wanting anything further with me, Lieutenant?
No, but I do have some questions for your boyfriend.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh my gosh. Actually, Miss Harris, I'd like to take you into my confidence regarding this investigation.
Why is that, Lieutenant?
Well, because if I don't, there's really no reason for us to keep talking.
Then take me into your confidence with confidence, Lieutenant.
Something's very wrong here. I just met an opening night cast who all seemed very eager to pose.
Well, I can understand how they might feel. They all left wonderful jobs and hit Broadway musicals. Work up here, in Boston. I never worked outside of the city myself, and Bambi's had to fight her mother every step of the way just to be in the chorus. But the rest of the cast are overworked and underpaid. But surely not enough to drive any of them to murder.
Keep in mind, I'm within arm's reach at any hour of the day or night.
You think I'm in some sort of danger, Lieutenant?
No, that was a completely unrelated thought.
You live with danger on a daily basis, don't you, Lieutenant?
Oh, most of the time, it's just paperwork and procedure. Detectives have no opening night, Miss Harris. We make our entrance when the curtain is fallen on someone else's life.
But it's a calling, isn't it? Like a doctor. Or a teacher.
Or an actor.
I suppose you're right. I can't imagine doing anything else with my life. It's not wrong to be married to one's work, is it?
Not at all. But sometimes it's no honeymoon. I love my job. I really do. And if I say so myself, I'm good at it too. I catch the bad guys, well, most of the time. So it's a good life, a perfectly good life. Not exactly sublime. When I finish my work and I crawl into bed, I reflect as I turn out the lights that the day that's to come and the week that's ahead will be lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. Lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
But it's reassuring to have such a dependable schedule. Like matinees every Wednesday.
Or brisket and broad beans each Thursday.
With your friends.
I like my pals, the guys on the force. We're not very social. They're all married, of course. Sometimes we go bowling or have a few beers. So it's a fine life, a perfectly fine life. I give it 2 cheers. But sometimes I think at the end of the day, when I've read the last burglar his rights, that this life that I lead is a little bit gray, with its lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. Lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
But your acting roles, they must make for a change.
Miss Harris, each year from May 23rd to the 12th of June, when I hand my life over to the Swallow Street players, that's more than a vacation for me. It's the curtain rising on the greatest joy of my life. But the rest of the year, the life that I lead is a little bit gray. There are plenty of low days and not many highs. Mostly lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. I don't mean to seem forward, but might I walk you home?
Oh, I'd be delighted. But you said we weren't allowed to leave.
Damn!
And while you chat away, your eyes will bat away.
Beat up the ground. Your heart will pound. Beat up the ground.
Sorry. Don't mean very patient, but I can't do this.
Honey, I've seen you do this.
Yeah, in the previous life. Would somebody like me to try?
I promise they'll adore you almost as much as I do.
I can go from ground to tank right into a split.
And you're looking just great.
Impossible, I know, but somehow I do it.
If one of you is the killer, would you please take her next?
hotel room. Lay your bundle downstairs, and in 1/2 hour, Lieutenant Chaffee will begin questioning altos and tenors.
Herr Lieutenant, rising from your interrogation chamber, just to grace us with your presence.
Thought I'd stretch my legs. I've been stuck in the green room all day.
At least you got to sleep your own bed last night.
Sorry about that.
I impress you, don't I, Lieutenant?
Well, I'd say more intrigued, Mr. Belling, as both a director and a suspect.
Lieutenant, I got what you wanted.
Oh, thank God. And did you pick out the clothes for Nikki Harris I asked for?
Yes, nothing but blues and greens, just like you said. You turned us to some kind of trap war or something?
No, I'm trying to match her eyes.
Heads up, stripping the soap drop.
Excuse me, Lieutenant Frank Chaffee. Mind telling me who you are and how you got in here?
Oh, as a member of the press, I'm exempt from your quarantine, Lieutenant. Gerald Grady, of the Boston Globe.
Oh.
After the review you gave Robin Hood, I can't imagine why you'd show your face here of all places.
I'm as mystified as you. The show's producers called and asked me to pay a visit.
That's right. Carmen Bernstein, Mr. Grady. You have our thanks for coming by, if not for your review.
Listen, I tried my level best to say something good about your production. I praised the choreography and that young woman who played the schoolmarm, Nikki
Harris.
Well, I'm afraid it's all history now. My condolences on the loss of your star and your show.
Hey, listen, Grady, we told you we were going to Broadway no matter what you wrote about us.
We're keeping Robin Hood open, and once we find out a few kinks, we're asking you to re-review it with Georgia Hendricks in the lead.
Georgia Hendricks, your lyricist? She hasn't been in a show for years. That's some story. And yes, there is a precedent for reappraising a show with a new lead. All right, tell you what. I'll re-review your show tomorrow night.
Tomorrow?
It's the best I can do. And to be fair, not many shows can survive 2 bad reviews from the Globe in 1 week.
With that, Carmen, you've got 24 hours to hold a week's worth of rehearsals. If you fail, you'll live to regret it.
Sydney, I guess the reason you're such a lowlife is because I feel you so low to the ground.
Oh, good day, Lieutenant.
You just made it one, Miss Harris.
That dress goes very nicely with your eyes, Nicky.
Thank you.
And I can't believe it. Mr. Gerald Grady, am I allowed to offer my thanks for the kind words you wrote?
Please don't misunderstand, Miss Harris, but I try not to fraternize with artists I review. But let me say you did stand out in what was otherwise an abundantly misguided production.
Grady, I thought your review of Robin Hood was needlessly cruel and way off the mark.
Well, I'm not so sure you know how to judge acting, Lieutenant.
Of course, you're the expert. However, I regret to inform you that I'm placing you under arrest for the crime of murder.
What? Have you lost your mind?
Any statement you make can be taken down in writing and used against you in the court of law.
This is insane. What in God's name are you saying?
I'm saying my best lines from Agatha Christie's Murder at the Vicarage. I played Chief Inspector Slack for the Native Town Players 2 summers ago. Oh, did you think I was saying that for real? Oh, I'm not sure you know how to judge acting.
Come on, Grady, I want you.
Well, acting, Lieutenant, and not just a community theater level either. I mean, college. And how's your investigation coming along, if I may ask?
I've been going over the show's financial records, and, you know, you're right. Everyone here is working for the same equity minimum, and not just newcomers like you or Bambi, but your stars as well. Listen, this is no place to talk. Let's say you and I get out of here for a little while.
You won't let me leave.
Damn!
Clear the stage immediately. I have just been informed that I have less time to reinvent this show than Moses had to cross the Red Sea, and he had God on his side.
Hey, is this true?
I can review tomorrow.
And Nikki, give a pitch, Bambi. I have no choice but to reblock in the same boat here and now.
Gonna have to watch this.
Why? Do you think something's going to happen?
No, I just really like his number. Although,
What?
it's nothing but what? can't believe I'm saying this, but shoot me with my own gun if I'm out of line.
What is it?
I don't think that simply changing the choreography is going to help. 3 women on the Arkansas River in a rowboat that's sinking fast. Trying to reach the federal courthouse in Wichita before the farmers lose their land. It's great stuff. It's your 11 o'clock number. But the song itself is kind of, I wonder, could we hear some of it?
Sasha? Ladies, sing for the lieutenant, would you? Here you go, Choppy. Just for you.
In the same boat, on the same sea, shaken inside as the tide keeps rising. Nary a ship, nary a sail, nary a soul on the whole horizon. So we are not discouraged due to the ancient books that you're likely to win. Take it all in the same boat.
Do you see what I'm saying? For such a big moment in the show, it's sort of mild-mannered.
Yes, strangely enough, I agree. We need a completely new composition. One that's catchier than Pink Eye. You want a hit? Yes, Aaron. And not some song from one of your failed shows either. None of your ain't it playing the trunk music.
Chris, you expect me to come up with anything. You have to find me a little private time with my piano and my writing horse. Your writing partner is now my dancing partner and the star of the show. If she doesn't get the saloon number under her belt tonight, we're all finished.
Yes, and I need to see that very number in full dress regalia this instant. Johnny, go tell the cast to change from the Act 1 finale to the final bars in the bar at the Bar B Bar Saloon.
Say again.
I can't say that again.
Mr. Belling's rehearsal takes priority, so those of you that need to change costume, please go right ahead. The rest of you, I'd like you to head down to the green room where Detective O'Farrell will be fingerprinting the entire company. That is, unless one of you would be kind enough to explain why you committed murder. So let's clear the stage and give our composer the solitude he needs. That should buy you a few minutes alone with your piano, Mr. Fox.
Alone. Yeah.
It must be difficult having to create when your writing partner is...
Otherwise engaged.
May I ask, only because I've wondered this my entire life, which is it that usually comes first? The music or the lyric?
Same answer as the chicken or the egg.
So it's the lyric.
A great melody doesn't always need a lyric. Or a lyricist.
So, then how do you start?
Well, it can start with a note, which can become a phrase. And you try hanging words on each branch, like trimming a tree.
Sounds easy enough.
Really? Well, don't talk about love. You'll have to say, fits like a glove. Or as certain as, push comes to shove. You'll pine for the woman you're constantly thinking of. You see the problem?
Dangling participle. So, you suggest staying away from love?
At all costs. And don't mention your life. You'll have to say, cuts like a knife. Or refers to heartbreak and strife. When you find that you're missing your...
Missing?
What?
You were saying what you miss.
I miss the music. I miss the song. Since she's not with me, it comes out wrong. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I've lost the music. I don't know why. writes a line, you play a vamp. When you're writing a song without a partner, that's a completely different matter. No one tells you that's not funny. No one says let's cut that far. No one makes you better than you are. I can't pretend I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to ask me what I prefer. I choose the music I wrote with her. I liked the music I made.
Eric? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?
No, I'm afraid I'm the guilty party here. But thank you, Mr. Fox, for all the insights. Miss Hendricks, good luck on your upcoming number. We'll speak later.
I forgot my lyric. Can you believe it, me?
You're not the lyricist anymore. You're the star. Has the feel being back on the boards.
Terrifying. Thrilling. I've missed the stage.
Come on, Georgia. We got to do that right away.
Must we?
It's our last chance to land a number before we pack it into the night. Here we go, honey.
Aaron, I'm starting to think that you were right when you said I was wrong for this.
Georgia. Break a leg.
Thanks. You can finish without me.
Come on, man. I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to ask me what I prefer. I choose the music I wrote with her. I love the music I made with her.
Kiss me while you can, boys. I got my sights set on Rob Hood.
But Rob Hood just left these parts with Miss Nancy, the new schoolmarm.
Alan Odell. How's it that a cowardly lawman from back east knows so much about the man I plan to brand? I'm gonna round up that Rob Hood and hogtie his fancy Miss Nancy. He made a getaway. He left you flat away. At times like this, a modern miss should gallop that away. When love goes
wonderful group of people, but I'm afraid this briefcase contains some very compromising evidence I've turned up about one of you. Now, I don't mean to point fingers, but I have some
Lieutenant.
additional...
An urgent call from headquarters.
Shoot. Belling, just go on with what you were doing.
Yes, so, very good. Right then, company. As I was saying, I'd like to set up pose in the Act 1 curtain. So, if you'll all just...
Right! As I thought. As you were. Seems everyone but Nikki has something to hide. There's nothing in the briefcase, by the way, except for a container of chowder from the Union Oyster House. Yes, but I don't see what that is. So, I've interviewed everyone, made a few phone calls, and what do I come up with? A murder victim named Jessica Cranshaw, working for a fraction of her usual firm salary. A distinguished director who despised the late Miss Cranshaw, yet slaves to make the show work all the same. A dancer choreographer who turns down a chance to work with Balanchine to do a song and dance for spare change. Ex-partners in marriage and music who inexplicably reunite, though no longer work in harmony. A one-man bank named Oscar Shapiro who, though having no prior interest in theater, suddenly sinks one payment after another into this musical. A company who celebrates when their show is torn to ribbons by the critics because this means they're at long last free to take better jobs back on Broadway. What does this tell me? That Sid Bernstein was blackmailing every one of you into working on this show.
Harry, even you.
Dancers?
Okay, so when I was starting out, I gave Sid Bernstein a private audition. I hope would stay private.
What about you chorus boys? I mean, you all seem like clean-cut fellas. What could all of you have possibly done you wouldn't want your folks back home to know?
I happen to think most people in this cast have something about themselves they'd like to keep to themselves.
Of course, and I'm not here to uncover all your dark secrets. Just the one that caused someone to murder Jessica Cranshaw.
People, I had no idea this was how Cindy got you on work so cheap. He's the one who handles the negotiations.
Well, he won't be able to deal his way out of breaking the law. But ladies and gentlemen, you won't be blackmailed anymore. But you're all still murder suspects. Now get to work. You may have joined the show for the wrong reasons, but you're going to press on. Because you have a contract.
Damn straight.
That's because Oscar deserves a return on his investment. Thank you. And because the best way for me to solve Jessica's murder is to keep the heat turned up in this pressure cooker of a theater. And lastly, because this could be a really good show. Take it, Chris.
Very well. So, company.
Heads up, we're striking the sand.
Wait, no, Johnny, I'm not finished. I still have yet to fix our pose.
Sorry.
Never mind. We'll have the last 4 bars. Bobby.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm heading that way.
Why is there no curtain?
We're having a little trouble with it.
I want it closed now.
All right, how's this?
Johnny, open the curtain, quick! Reach the curtain. Better make it a blackout.